just a... Let's see. Sorry. All chaos has broken loose. Let's... Whoa! Right, let's get it zoomed a little bit. There we go. I reckon that'll be about right. Let's have a look. How's that look to everyone? I think so. Right. A bit of a different angle for a change. They say a change is as good as a rest. So we'll go with that. Ah! Skull! Danish infirmary. Nice. Ah, dearie me. I'm gonna Tiva, let's see. Do you like the different angle? I was trying to get the palette in as well tonight. Then we can always do a bit of that. Good. Thought we'd do it different. Evening, Gary. Rich, how are we all? Good week? Let's load up with some of that. Because as you probably know, I've been busy. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me sort that out for you, Ben. There we go. How's that? Good? Does that work for you? Is there any other things we want on camera? We see my picked warlord is waiting to be painted. Halfway through some Landsknechts over here. I don't know whose they are. It's the next batch going on over there. What else we got? What else have we got in hand's reach? Ah, this is a very rare treat. This is it was one of the sculpts that I did for I needed the monster and I couldn't get the miniature for. Yes. Does anyone know what this is? Before I tell you, I will accept bad spellings of it as well. What else we got kicking around? God, this is dusty. Let me get a brush on it. This you might like. This is we did a Battle of Hastings refight at what we called real scale, and this was the feared, as you can see. Hooray! On the table, that was the feared, or one of the original ones I did. Shall I crack on with some painting, or shall I carry on getting weird stuff off the shelves? Yeah, that's good. Oh, evening, Jeremy. I didn't spot you there. Yeah. I've not had any problems with them firing paint anywhere, in fairness, but yeah. Okay. So shall I start painting then? Why not, eh? Right, well, tonight, best say what we've got first. We have... we have the Draugr... that's probably a bad pronunciation, but Draugr Warriors. When you buy them from Gripping Beast, there'll be 8 in your set. When I picked these up, there was 2 left in the tray when he packed them up for me, and it seemed a shame to leave them there. So I got a 10 instead of an 8. Lucky me. But yeah, these these are our undead warriors for Age of Magic. Draugr. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the flesh a little bit different from what we usually do. I'm going to use some kobold skin. It's very similar to GW Rakhar flesh, that sort of thing. You can leave it sort of a grey thing. So, and we'll do some various different stuff to them to... Oh, that brush his pants. Let's see what this one... That's a bit out. Yeah, good shout, Ben. What is everyone up to tonight? So is that zoomed in enough for everyone, or do you want me to hyper zoom so you can see the actual brush? Let's get the light down a little bit. It's throwing a bit of shadow on there from the camera. I'm going to try and make these look like they're at different stages of decay. So we're going to... The dog's chewing his bone over there. It's not... I think we might need to bring the camera down a little bit because I'm struggling to keep this on camera, if you know what I mean. Yeah, for Undead, he's not put many... When you look at these just bare lead, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to make them look like Undead because there's just the odd rip in that, but... Just means you have to be a bit more dramatic with our paint job. I'm going to try and make them look... Last time I painted these, I made them look quite bright, so I'm going to go for a really dirtied up version. Let me bring the angle of the paint down a little bit. Sorry guys, I'm just going to move out a little bit more. Oh, that's better, isn't it? No painting tonight, but full steam ahead on... Ah, yes. Have you got your dogs painted? The Irish are quite a fun warband to paint, own, annoy people with. quite like their battle board, actually, the Irish. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think I've got the warlords to paint. Some crossbows to paint, and a couple of lots of warriors, I think. I was actually gonna do the crossbows tonight, and then I remembered these have been waiting in a bag patiently. So I thought to myself, yes, I'm always up for painting zombies. Talking of zombies, I got talked into buying one of those VR headsets. Is it MetaQuest? Other headsets are available, just in case. And I was playing a zombie game the other night, and I couldn't work out how to reload the gun because I just clicked it on for a quick go. So I was jumping around trying to hit the zombies with the gun, panicking how to reload it, with the dog jumping up and down as well, and my wife laughing at me because I was screaming bravely, like very manly. My manly screams could be heard probably down the whole street. And unfortunately, I got eaten. But hey, I see it as a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, so in fairness, better at painting zombies than I am shooting them. So as you can see, that flesh is a really sort of greyed out flesh. It's going to give us a real nice base. So I mean, some of these they're gonna look like they're fresh off the fresh out the graveyard, and some we're gonna make look manky. Just going around. Yeah, these are ragnarok. Obviously, if I didn't mention it earlier. Yeah, it'd be good doing some good big battles. I was speaking to the guys the other day at Big Battles, and yeah, maybe we can organise a Age of Magic event as well. So I know the beasties would be keen on doing that. God, he's having a right go at that bone, isn't he? Well, it's different from his snoring, I suppose. Yeah. I think that's when's their sword point? February, isn't it? Richie, you doing the sword point thing? Oh yeah. I'm with you. You are. I remembered. My goldfish brain just switched back into gear for a moment there. I might be able to. I might be able to help you out with some elves soon. You, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? But oh yeah, definitely sort some elves out. I've made an Age of Magic elven army anyway, out of all old Grenadier and Alpartha stuff. But I think some more metal stuff is coming into my possession. So one or t'other will be available. Ah, ahoy, Dale! How goes it, shipmate? Yeah, I can believe we've had quite a few subscribers again this week, which is good. Down to there's quite a few likes and stuff as well through posting pictures of Rich's lands next. So what I did with these as well, I've bent some of the swords around and some of the nicks that were in them, I put a little deeper, just to, as you can see, it's a cracking sword, that one. Let's face facts, Draugr are not going to be too fussy of what they're hitting you with, are they, really? I did one of the warlords. They're real nice, the warlords for the... I think there's 3 different ones. Well worth having a look at. Yeah. Just lay that. I'm gonna say. So I've painted these in the past, and I've left their clothing quite bright. Obviously, I wanted to make them look different from Colin's versions on the website. But I figured these are probably not going to be for my army. These ones, so. Cool. That's what we like. God, he's on a right chew, the dog over there, isn't he? God, blimey. Careful! It's one of those Nyla bones, so I don't want him to try and eat it. Just want him gnawing at it. Probably fall asleep in a minute and then he'll be snoring. I suppose it's good sound effects for painting zombies. Him scrabbling around in the earth, or eating people's faces off, you know, that sort of thing. And depending on the age of the yeah, so give Dale a shout out again. Type up the name of the thing in the chat again, mate, so anyone watching tonight can see it. I think I popped over and subscribed and liked some of the videos. I think there was 2 I liked last. Was it Garage? That's it, Garage Goblins. I watched which one? I watched your battle report. Oh God, what was it? Oh, tell you, my memory is terrible. I was painting along watching the, because I kind of had the phone. I have the phone on my desk as I paint, so I kind of listen and watch at the same time. What was the battle? Oh God, what was it? It was the using the bridge. Was that one? There was bridge rules. Yeah. Yes. Using Age of Magic, wasn't it? With the squigs. Yeah, it was a bit biased towards one side, wasn't it? But you had a flyer as well, didn't you? Yes, it's coming back to me now. See, my brain is caught up. Yeah, I've got some people that are going to do some battle reports with me, but we've not got round to it yet. You know, you guys know what I'm like. If I stray too far away from my painting desk for too long, I get EBGBs. Yeah, that's all right. You used the scenario out of the Book of Battles, didn't you? That's right. See, I get there in the end. Yes, very good. I did enjoy it. Well done. Credit where credit's due. Yeah, I saw there was an unboxing one. I saw it pop up on my feed. I haven't had a chance yet though, so I will watch it. Yeah, it's good. I know. I've been informed that the saga event was covered in this month's War Games Illustrated. But unfortunately, I've not managed to come across a copy yet. There's not many places around by me that stock it, and I don't have a subscription. So I'm hoping, yeah. Somebody messaged me on Facebook to ask what the miniatures were, and I took a guess that it was the limited edition ones. I said they got winged helmets. I think there's a guy in America. I said if they're the ones with the wings, that's the limited edition ones. Yeah, I've not spoken to the Beastie Boys this week because I knew they would have been busy catching up with Black Friday. They got absolutely swamped. Brilliant. I'm so pleased that everyone took advantage of the deal. So, a great success. So yeah, I mean, not all these. I've done every rip and tear with flesh in it, just so because there's not a lot to say they're undead. We've got to make as much advantage as we can. These are the Draugr Warriors from Ragnarok. I grabbed them at Gripping Beast. There should be 8 in the set, but as I explained earlier, there was 2. When they cast them, there was 2 extra ones, and I snaffled them, so I've got 10 in. I thought, well, it'd be a shame not to paint them, so that's what I did. But yeah, so they're dead ends, but they're very much Draugr rather than zombies, if you know what I mean. They're more. Well, I suppose that depends on your outlook, I suppose. So, right, I'm going to do some drab colours, which is unlike me. I usually don't. I'm going to go for dark stone. I'll use some dark greys and all stuff. We will put some colour into them, but we're going to keep it toned quite low. So we just let that flesh set nicely. We're going to do something different with it tonight rather than just do our thing. But as you can see, the putting the medium in that again. Say when it's thinned out, this paint, it covers real well. You'd think it would have the opposite effect, but it just seems to work. That was my big question about the new stuff they're bringing out, of how it thins. Because I've seen the coverage is really good, but now I've seen one of the videos where they thin it down. Yes, this is quite a drabby brown. See, my thoughts on this is why I usually do them bright. These are the warriors that have been buried with their full regalia. They'd probably be buried with their best clothes on, wouldn't they? So there's no real reason for them to look drab. But it's that whole zombie thing in your head. So we will do a couple of colourful ones. But I just won't make them as bright as... He's going bonkers over there. The pup has grown somewhat since the summer. So there we go. As you see, we're going to go quite drab. And so the next one you'll get... This is how I did my batch paint. So the next one we'll get, maybe because there's 10 of these, I'll probably do 3 or 4 using this colour. But I'll do 1 tabard like it, 1 trousers like it. Oh, cheers, Rich. Yeah, Darren wouldn't tell me what it was set. Because I said, oh, did you see your reports in there? Because, yes. So I know the beasties get it delivered. But also I know some of the guys there, if it's interesting, they'll take it home to read. That's the bottom of his boot, that's all right. But you see that fleshy part's already starting to stand out on his knee. And then we'll have a look for one that's maybe got... See, he's good, isn't he? He's got like... I think that's one of the half-guard miniatures that's got slipped in. So the ones with the chainmail are generally the ones with the half-guards, so he shouldn't really be in this video. So we should take... Well, we're painting as a... We're still painting him up. So this paint is head cow in this colour. Yeah, so let's what's happened here is I've grabbed, and it's my fault. It's not the Beastie Boys' fault. We were just round Darren's table. And I said, "Oh, scrap some." It's when they were first sorting them out as well. These ones. So it was. I think this was left from. They do a collector's pack, which has got all the different ones in it. Which, if you're doing a big Zombo horde, is quite cool. I've not done a full Age of Magic Undead Army with just Griffin Beast Draugr yet. I think that'll look quite cool. So, the big Age of Magic armies we've got are all the old Raupartha and Grenadier stuff, which is cool. Where's Necromancer? There you go, Necromancer coat. This is a really good grey. I like this one. So there's a guy with a big Smurf uniform on. So you can water it down with the medium. It doesn't matter if we don't want perfect coverage. You want some of those whites to show through. That was a big sigh from the dog. What are you doing? Yeah, so you see, look, as that falls in, it's sitting into the grooves, and those high greys we got are going to work as highlights for us. As we're thinning it out, it's going to look a little bit patchy, which is really going to work for that undead look. Yeah, they are. They are. As I said, at the tournament, I painted. One of the prizes was the one of the warlords. I can't remember which number it is because I think there's 3 of them, but they are cracking. They painted up so well. That's always surprises me about a lot of these beastie ones. You get them in the lead, get them in the metal, and you think, But once you start painting them, it's like this one. It didn't look anything. Now we're starting to paint it. They really do come to life. They've got a lot of character in them. The other thing I think is the style of sculpting. It's a little bit. Collins are a little bit old school, I suppose. It's not in an impolite way, but it means that you can get away with painting as a tabletop standard, and they're still going to look neat. You know. Also, if you're going to go over the top of them, you can still work into them, which I think's something we do on here, really. So yeah, that grey is really. Yeah, there's if you look on their website, there's kind of you can buy the collector pack. I think they're gonna do so many of them before they. I'm not sure if they're gonna keep it on the site forever. But it was certainly there earlier when I checked. It's too Viking to put in grey. And this guy looks a bit. That's everything about it. He's got some that look Viking-y. There's others that look slightly medieval. So, that's always nice when you get. I know the Griffin Beast Undead for Age of Magic have got some neat half guards that look like Crusaders, and then there's some that look like Spartans as well. Some warriors. So I thought that looks neat. But these Draugr from Ragnarok are definitely more kind of Tolkien-y, I suppose. If I can use that word without being struck off. But it's certainly mixed in well with the Age of Magic box set that I painted for. Oh, I got it here still. No, I think somebody had it. The trouble is, I painted so many armies, and now people go, "Oh, can I borrow that one?" So I've got many out that are on long-term loan. As it were. Yes. So just really laying into this the grey cloak colour. I'm really getting that matte medium in there. So literally it is, what you can see on the sleeve there, you can see where it's going blotchy, and you can see where the lighter grey from the xenophils showing through. There's the bit I haven't painted yet. So it's going to get the effect we want, plus it's going to make it quicker to paint that way. This guy, I want to do him as, he's too cool not to. He's going to have a red. Let's go for Abomination Gore. I started a new one of these, so plenty of shaking. Whole lot of shaking going on. I'm going to add lots of medium. So it's got that sort of early medieval Norman stroke crusadery look, this guy. So it's too nice a miniature. But I'm pretty sure this one's from the half guards, not the warriors pack, so you need to check that. I'll say it's purely a thought of mine, not the beasties. As you can see, I'm running the medium again into that thing to make it where I'm looking to make these guys look all washed out and cruddy. I don't want anything to be too kind of I don't want a nice decent layer of paint. I want it to be blotchy, so that the colour looks like it's faded and worn. And these guys have been underground. Their stuff is not going to be grade A colourful stuff. Bits of it are. So hence the blotchiness. Hence lots of wash. Oh, that was a good example there, look. You see how thin the wash has made the paint that it still hangs together because I'm using medium. If you tried that with water, it would just run everywhere. Because I've used the medium, it's kind of doing its best to hang together. All be explained in the upcoming video I keep promising, Rich, don't I? Sorry. My apologies again. As we see, really making the most of that xenophil. Just going to put a little bit more in there, and again you can see the red I'm using is where it's watered down, is getting a bit blotchy now, and it's sitting into those grooves, which is what we want it to do. Then we can work back through. There was another one that, no, he's not having red trousers. No, there was one that's, I think it was him. He just looks like he should have a red tabard. He's actually got one of the dwarf helms on, or very similar. I don't think it's one of the dwarf ones because it'd be a different size, but it's obviously inspired this one. Just really thinly painted, so it just looks just a little bit faded. So we can always go back and strengthen it up a little bit, or put a wash on it. Probably going to use some washes to dirty everything down anyway. I want these grimes to look grimy. Yeah. Keep that paint thin, as somebody once said. Get that matte medium involved. So it's doing a different, slightly different style to our usual stuff, isn't it? But it's good to have many strings to your bow. Maybe one more. Oh, what about a big red cloak going on? I'm feeling a green cloak though, maybe. He's a bit similar to that guy. Oh, he's a Viking guy. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's got half his face off. He definitely needs a red tabard. The dog is upside down with a teddy bear in his mouth. big ferocious dog that he is. So obviously, one with a broken squeaker clicking where it used to squeak, which is a bit fortunate. Yeah, it's quite cool having these ragnarok miniatures available for the fancy stuff. And keeping that medium going. Bit of a dip every time. You can adjust the paint really on the palette and put a drop in, but I find that because I'm using the wet palette, I can kind of you get to a point where you've put enough medium in your brush, the palette kind of takes over. Let's have a look at this guy here. You see how that red's looking all washed out. The bits of it are still nice and red, so that's exactly what we want it to do. So next we're going to hit it with some angel green. It's a dark green, if you get my gist. Does a dead frog croak ribbit. Yeah, so we're going to use this dark green. I'm not going to say that again. But what we're going to do again is we're going to really hit it down with the matte medium. So we're going to really, this stuff is great when you thin it. Really, really thins well. You wouldn't think that's been thinned, would you? But when it hits the zenithal highlight bits, what I'll do is cloak in it so we can really see it. Click it out. There we go. Yeah, so let's get kind of that medium in there. And you see that pool of nice green, you can see it. Okay, watch his cloak. It's almost, you can see how transparent the green is. Look. Bring a bit more paint into it as we go along. And because the matte medium's in there, it's going to dry ever so matte, which will then let us do more work or leave it as it is, whatever we like. And because we're looking for that blotchy effect, the zenithal undercoat will work for us. So we're almost making a glaze out of the paint. Filter as I've heard it called as well. So we're glazing or filtering, I suppose. And glazing is really with inks rather than paint. So this is a bit of more of a watercolour technique, I suppose. Letting the shade underneath. See, now it's drying a little bit. We can go back in, strengthen bits, let bits be blotchy, whatever. Because once it's dry, we can decide to do what we like with it. But we're getting that nice washed out. No? Let it dry and we'll have another look at it in a sec. This guy can have a tabard of it. And you. Just keep that paint flying on. And to be honest, when you thin it out like this, it does, even though you put in a lot of moisture on, where it's thin, it tends to dry quite quick. Although if you wanted to, what you could do is put some paint retardant in it as well, if you wanted to. If you want to stay wet a bit longer, then you could go to town with the wet blending, if you really wanted to get posh. So just keeping that paint nice and thin. We don't want too much coverage because it will make our paint brighter than we want it. Maybe one more. He's got no green on him. Let's have a look at his cloak. So let's drop. Look at that. Beautiful. Maybe green sleeves. He can have green sleeves. For that more traditional look. Where I've gone thin, it's gone a little bit into the tear there, but that's all right. You don't have to have all as flesh. Okay, so that's that colours. So next we'll do a more Viking-y blue, which is quite a nice, strong blue. That's that one next to it. But what we'll do is we'll water it down again with the matte medium, so it fits in with what we're doing. This will look really, really washed out. So I'm thinking about doing like a white circle on him. So let's have a look at his trews. So wash that out. So you see where the grey's caught, it's gonna look really show through. And right under there in the shade, that black's just gonna sit straight through our translucent paint. So it's just gonna give a hint of colour, which is another good reason. Oh, it's a bit thick, so just get a little bit of medium and paint the spread the paint out. That's one there. Can you see it's thinning it down? There we go. Yeah, he's got a real death grin on him, hasn't he? This guy needs a blue cloak, doesn't he? A blue tabard. So if we look where the grey's heavily caught that bit, and then we've got that matte medium mixed in, so it will fall back into the folds and grooves, you know what I mean? We're not looking for good coverage here. We're looking for blotchy, washed out. Probably just a little bit, so we put a little bit more paint in there. It's nice and wet. You see how thin the paint is. It's going on there. It's a little bit hard because it's obviously a little bit shiny. That's because the amount of matte medium I'm using, it's going on. It's very, very thin and watery. So I saw Ben asked earlier, did what we were doing tonight. I know Rich Lee's painting his Irish tomorrow. It's always worthwhile. Is that the did you start with the 4-point box, or did you select some? Did you get your dags? Hmm. Yes, you can see how washed out it's starting to look. Hmm. Yeah, good shout. Those box sets are really, really good way of doing it. So yeah, you got the dags. I remember when I first used them, I kept them out of range of everyone and literally ran them right round the table. God, they can move. Joe, the extra move if you're outside. What's it called? Tactical move or whatever. I can't remember what they call it in Saga. It comes to me in a minute. Yeah. Let's just do some washed out blue trousers. Thin that paint is with a matte medium, it's ace. You see how washed out that looks. There's a bit too much pigment in that bit, so I thought I'd just bop it a bit. Okay. Look, that sword, he's holding it wrong and it's bent anyway. He's just going to bludgeon someone with that, isn't it? That's a bludgeon weapon. Okay, I'm going to get... Oh, man. I've painted those for so many people. It's one of my favourite box, the Poor Fellow of Christ. They are brilliant, aren't they? Cheers, Dale. Thanks for dropping by, mate. Yeah, that's one of my favourite sets, that is. Rich, you've discovered there. Very cool. So I've put the Banshee Brown on, so I'm going to do some... some of the areas that are going to be kind of... well, would have been white, or maybe... I'm just going to lay this beigey... well, it's more fawn, I suppose. Then I can take it either way. Well, it's gone into there, I'm just going to wet my brush and dip that out so it stays fleshy. There we go. Actually, I'm going to get the beige out as well. So some of them are going to have oops, sorry everyone. Thin that back out a little bit more. Again, plenty of medium in there. If you haven't got a matte medium of any description, whether it's the Army Painter medium or GW Lamia medium, you can use water, but you just have to go a bit more careful with it. But again, if you've got a wet palette, you can get there with a little bit of water as well. You just can have a bit more control with the medium. So now in 10 minutes we're in. Wow, that's flown by. So I'm going to thin that beige out. Just keep thinning it out. To be honest, if it gets too thin, you'll know, and then all that happens, you'll have to go a little bit more on, do a second layer. But where we're not really trying to cover, it's actually being our friend by not covering. And the snoring begins. Welcome to the ASMR Dog Snore channel. So the weekend you have Karen with the TikTok clocks. Pirate Rich snoring puppy. Yeah, you can see where we're going nice and thin with that medium. It kind of goes on nice and smooth, and we can end up with some patches showing through from the undercoat, which is very cool, going to be cool for us. I'm just going to use the fawn on this one's sleeves. Again, it's a very hard colour to thin, the fawn. That's why I swapped to the beige. Yeah, thinning anything that's got a lot of white on it is quite tricky because white just doesn't thin very well. I'm going to lean away from the camera because I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that, everyone. Was it once a wish, twice a kiss? Oh my god, I'm going to get kissed. That's terrible. I hope it's not by one of these zombos. Just stop my computer. It's going to try and do a scan or something stupid and I'll mess everything up. For some reason it's switched my printer on. How has that happened? Odd. There we go. What the hell? I don't know why my printer's come on. Who can tell? I can't even get my printer to work when I want it to work. Oh well. I went to print something the other day that says printer not recognised. That was, sorry, a couple of months ago. So I thought, oh well. I haven't even switched it on for God knows how long. Yeah. Do you think my printer's haunted, Rich? It could be. Yeah, see how that's lovely, dried out, washed out look now. Yes, so yeah. Just use that brain. That's a fitting, isn't it? This beige I'm using, the off-white, is called brain matter beige. It couldn't be a more fitting paint for what we're doing. I'm gonna have to have a look at the half guard in these and see if they're all like this guy, because they look wicked. The whole unit. I'm sure I must have painted them. I can remember painting the box set for Age of Magic. There's a bit of red in there needed, so we get that beauty of the wet palette. What it can do, if you want the red to look stronger, is keep it watered down, but just then run it into the recesses. So we're going to leave the highs. As long as you've got nice thin paint. That patchiness we're looking for is going to remain. So this guy can have four. He's got those leg wrap things. Which we'll kind of layer in there. And this guy doesn't need any more of that. Getting to that point where the base layers are almost on. I know it looks a bit different tonight because we're kind of painting them all washed out. So you're going to have to be really careful. Yeah. Any kind of washes and stuff like that, because you don't want to strengthen up stuff too much. I've just gone with a very watery that brown with the mixed up with a little bit of the white. Just I'm not going anywhere making anything kind of uniformly painted. I just wanted it. So I'm going to use a brown wash over them so we get them nice and dirty looking. So next, before I do the leather straps and that, we're going to go and do some more to the flesh. Right, so what we're going to do, we started off with that cobalt flesh, and usually we'd use like a flesh wash, but tonight, because he's being dead, we're going to use some green tone. We're going to start grotting them up. I think that's the word. So we're going to get some medium in our brush. Because the thing we don't want is them just to turn green. So we're not painting orcs. And we're just going to nice thin coat this green. If it goes a little bit mouldy looking, that's fine. So we're going to go back in to this in a minute anyway. But I don't want to use pure tone because I don't want it too. Yeah, good snoring tank. So as you can see, he's got quite a thin covering like green now. Wash his face. Just gonna zap that moldy old green. Moldy old dough. See some of it. We're going to go back in with that flesh colour, so don't panic if we lose a lot of it. We're going to highlight it back out. And we've got the shields to go on as well. I forgot to undercoat the shield, so I'll do them tomorrow. But we just want these guys to look quite freshly dead, but a bit manky, you know what I mean? That's why we start with that nice grey looking flesh with the kobold. Or ragnarok if you're a GW painter. Similar. Not quite the same, but by the time you've got this green over it, it's gonna do the same thing. But what is quite fun is if you've got a lot of them to paint, is paint them with different flesh starting with, and don't use so much green on some of them and what have you. So you've got lots of different stages of decay. That's always good fun with these sort of things. But where we're just doing a one-off, I'll just keep it fairly standard. Doggy's in full snory mode. Yeah, see how the cloak's now settled down. That's just one coat. So I mean, this is speed painting. It's best to be 125 we're on. We're working through 10 miniatures, so Yeah, so remember as well, these are kind of like your bog standard troops, really. So, well, no, the warriors. There's so the next one's up, aren't they? So we're going to use these as levy, but yeah, this is a half guard mesh. This one, the chainmail one, defo. It's all right. That's cool. You'll be mixed in with warriors. It's not a deal breaker. So while that's drying, we grab our secret weapon of burnt umber. Just got jammed up from earlier. Let's give it a good shake. What a mess. Dear me. We'll leave that out for a clean. And we're just going to use our secret weapon to speed the process along. We're going to use this for their boots and bits of leather and what have you. Which will help us speed along. Thing as well, it breaks everything back and kind of defines everything a little bit more once you do stuff like straps and what have you. I think his beard and that can be that colour. Again, you've got to bear in mind the level that we're trying to achieve with these guys. We're trying to achieve kind of a decent looking tabletop standard, really. So, you know, you're not looking at spending days on each miniature here. We want them done and we want to stick them on a table. This ideal, like this brown's ideal because it's pretty transparent, translucent, isn't it? Is that the word? You can like see through it. See what I mean? It just starts defining them nicely. Make sure our brush is nice and wet. I think sometimes it can be a distraction with zombies if they're too nicely painted. You want that mob effect with them. So it's hard to tell where one starts, the next ends. You know, they're endless. Yeah. He's got a hole in his shoe. You see his toe. Nice. I do think though you could go to town on these. They do make me want to get some of these, maybe a pack of the half guard and really go bananas on them. Oh, let's put all silver. Let's have some dark browns bits just for a change. I just just thinned it down. So it kind of shows a bit of the white through. A little bit of red needed in there. There we go. And you see I'm just thinning the special kind of our secret weapon. So you can do that. Thinner, it's gonna cover slightly less well. And when I hit it over for the wood, it gets that blotchy effect. Kind of looks a little bit like grain. And when you do the hair, same thing. That white just sits through that brown. And we've got some free highlights. And we like those. Also got a necklace. We're just going to start picking that out in the brown. There we go. Put maybe some metallic on it in a minute. This guy's toes are hanging out of his sock, shoe, whatever it is. Keep these paints nice and thin. So that blue's gone on the back there. I'm shielding it from the light a bit because the light will pick up the white in the blue, if you know what I mean. Make it glow. There we go. Let's give it brown there as well. Good. I'll just try and throw my whole paint thing on the floor. So what do we know then, guys? Are these looking all right so far? Seeing this guy's face, that green's really starting to dry nice. I'll hold it up to the camera in a sec so you can see. There's a good level of mankiness getting on these. I should have done these on Halloween, shouldn't I? I missed a bit of a trick there. Yeah. Army of Darkness. See what I mean though, when I first started them, before there was any paint on them, they didn't really look that undeady. But as you start picking bits out and paint them a certain way, they work. It started me thinking, is some of the other companies' miniatures I painted, for instance, like the Mantic Walking Dead stuff, are they too zombie? I know they're their miniatures were comic based, but you know, these Draugr, are they fresh out of the ground? Well, obviously not too fresh because they're a bit manky, but yeah, the map medium has been our friend on with that Xenophil. So we can do that real washed out look. That's pretty all the detailing done now. So what we'll do before we go back in the flesh is we're gonna grab our oak brown and we're gonna paint the pumice on the bottom of the bases so we can oh, let me see what we've got. So I'll just check that in with the oak brown, chuck a load of medium in there, grab our nice fat old well, it's not fat old brush, it's now a crapped up old regiment brush. And we're just gonna get that dirt on the base so we can. I just do think it helps. Look at your paint job if you got a. And this one's going to not be a finished base because you haven't got a bit of dry brushing on it. You see what I mean? Instantly you can see the miniature better. See where we thinned it with the medium as well. Look, that stone's showing through. It's very pumice. And to be honest, if we stop there, you tell what they are. Got the metals to do. Got the flesh to sort out, really. And it's just effects. I'm gonna just come up what was it, hour and 40, hour and 3/4, 10 miniatures. Oh, cheers, David. Yeah, brilliant miniatures, mate. You're going to really enjoy these. We're going to go for a little, we've got a little bit more to do yet. We're going to stick with these and do, it's the fun bit. We're through most of the work now. We're going to get into the fun bits now where we're going to make them dead. Is it the warrior pack you ordered? So you wouldn't have this one in it. I say earlier on I grabbed there's a couple of extras I grabbed while I was down there. They were just hanging around on the table like pirates do what they do. I'm pretty sure this is from the half guard pack. So I've got 10 warriors instead of 8. And a snoring dog. Somebody thought it was me snoring while I was paying once. So usually I'd paint a whole lot brighter than this, but I just wanted to show you guys how much fun it is to paint them drab, which is a really kind of weird thing to do. As I said, it's good to have many strings to your bow, though, isn't it? Okay, before we do fun time, we're gonna get that metal down. So we're gonna put the gun metal. Keep it simple. We're gonna just do everything metal. We're gonna use gun metal rather than muck around with different golds and stuff. So okay. The reason I'm going to do I might put some gold on there. Never know. You can thin it a little bit with the medium just to make it flow better. I think sometimes the metallics get a bit gloopy. I think that's the technical word for it. Yeah. So to answer Rich's question earlier, hopefully I'll be able to get back onto my. I've got a couple of commissions on the go, and be able to get back to some of my painting and get my picks done. I mean, the thing is, it's all about workflow. So our brushes. You see, we've done nearly 2 hours now, and the brush hasn't stopped the whole time. So even though a lot of the stuff I paint has been quite wet, so kind of going on to the next bit while one bit's drying, and that's where you can really speed your painting up. It's all about getting a good workflow. Yeah, as you can see, this is as I said, it's from the half guard set, this one, because it's got some chainmail on it, even though it's on a coif. That's the easiest way to tell, but again, there's no reason it can't be used as a, no rule against it in Saga. You can use what you want to use to represent what you want it to represent. If that makes sense. After all, they're your minis. As long as you and your opponent know what they're representing, it's got naught to do with no one else. So we've been thinning the paint so that you can, when you come across bits of detail where the sculptors put hack marks in the armor and stuff like that, keep your paint nice and thin, it all shows out again. Good example is the top of the helmet there, can you see? So we kept our paints nice and thin. There's no chance of losing that detail. So our flesh at the moment's had the base flesh of cobbled flesh, and we've hit it over with a thinned out green wash just to make them look a bit mouldy. typical undead, this one. It's got like a crappy bent sword it's trying to hit people with. And what's in its scabbard? A nice posh looking sword. Stupid Draugr. He's really good. It's like half of his helm's missing and stuff. That's neat, isn't it? Yeah, nicking the armor a bit more before you paint them, and the shields, just chop into the shields a little bit more. Mind your fingers if you're using a knife. Some of the little rips on the tabards, I kind of had a bit of dig around in those as well, just to make them a little bit deeper. Of spent swords. Also, I've cut some nicks into them. Go as far as you want. You could have gone for some of the metal on these being bronze, or using the gold trick that we do. But because of the length of time I've spent on them already, we're getting towards the end of the time I've allocated for them, so I've got to crack on. So next, we're going to get a brush with a decent point. So we're going to get my Kalinsky one out. I've been using cheap brushes up to this point. A bit more medium in there. And we're going to go back in with the original flesh colour. Yeah, and I'm just gonna, how well you can see this on camera. So I'm gonna pick out some highlights. So anywhere the green settled really well from that wash, we're gonna leave it well alone. And then we're gonna just highlight the other areas like we usually do with the other flesh. So I'll do it on this hand as well, even though it's gonna be behind the shield. So face, its nose, cheekbones, upper lip, bottom lip, maybe chin if it's sticking out, fingers. I'm trying to leave that green, anywhere that green is sitting nicely, we're going to leave. Yeah, so it's hand, that you can see that green sitting nicely in there, so we're going to leave that bit. We've seen his face. Let's see if we can get it focused. That's all right. So, yeah. So it's on the nose, cheeky bones, top lip, chin, because he hasn't got a bottom lip, it's fallen off. Can't paint the bottom lip. So I wrote a complaint to Griffin Beast. Dear Griffin Beast, I went to paint my Ragnarok zombie, and I went to paint the bottom lip for a highlight, and it was missing. When will you realise that for my highlights to work? Right. One thing I did miss is like the recess there is like the knees. Look. These are recently dead, so he's still quite fleshy. If you don't want them quite so fleshy, use a lighter colour. I was going to go back in with maybe a white or a really. So it's nose, cheekbones, upper lip, bottom lip if it has one, chin if it hasn't. A bit too much paint on the brush. So a little bit of a highlight in the middle of the knee there. Elbow. Just top of his thumb. Across his knuckles. Look. It doesn't have to be accurate. It's a zombie. So if some areas look, yeah, he took loads of green, but then again, he looks quite manky, doesn't he? So we're just going to a little bit on his nose, a little bit on the cheekbones, what's left of his lips. We'll paint his hand, but remember it's behind the shield anyway. So if anyone asks you if I do paint behind the shields, I do. And a bit on the back of the necklet. You see where we've just highlighted that bit in there? You can just see his ribs. Just let the brush gently touch in there and just pick out those highlights. What you could do as well is go back in with a very weak purple wash and just really anywhere where there would have been like a bruise from a wound or and just a little bit of purple in there. Oh, he's looking really rotten, this guy. I'm just using the very tip of the brush. I don't want to wipe out all the green tone, if you know what I mean. And where it's see how green his hand is. We're just gonna put a little bit of flesh back in there. But we want to leave that green in there. You want some highlights so it catches people's eye that there's flesh there and it makes it really obvious they're zombies, you know? He's got a right messed up face, this one. He's been mangled. It's the dog doing a zombie impression. So his nose, what's left of his cheekbones, and Joy's quite scully, that one. So we'll be letting that dry off now, and we will go with a little bit of a white highlight in a sec, just for the very highest highlights. The other thing you've got to make your mind up on is, do you want them to have dull eyes, i.e. not paint eyes at all, or do you want to go in to do glowy eyes? That's another question. So what we've got now is that's the flesh how we want it. Let's put a cap back on there. So next we want to start dirtying them up a bit. So I'm going to go with a strong tone. But what we're going to do is we're going to use our medium to water it down. First of all, I'll put a couple of drops in with the medium. Because usually I'd use the dark tone, which is black, on the armour. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the strong tone, which has got the brown in it as well. And it's going to make the armour look dirty. And anywhere else I want it to look dirty. I'm not going to do it all over. I just want patches of it. So just use it sparingly. Because if you turn everything brown, nothing's going to look dirty. So quite a bit in his hair though, just to pick the detail out. But you can see on the sword there how that brown's going to dry, and on his helm that. It's just going to make it look dirty. We've got a bit more medium in there. So at the moment it's all shiny. So the eye holes are filled in there at the moment, but we're going to zap them back out in a sec. Zip, zip. Wick, 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 wick. Got quite thin, so we're going to do quite a bit of his tabard, because obviously it's a white tabard and it's been underground. It's not going to look clean. But where I'm running the medium in there, you can see how thin it is. And it's just running straight into the grooves. But if you didn't, if you left it thick, it would run into the grooves, but it would also be too heavy in there. Yeah. Good. Did you get one of the Black Friday deals? I think they got a bit swamped, so I think it's going to take them a little bit longer than normal to get to people, they were saying. Which I think people understand, and if they've done a deal. Yeah, as you can see, getting that medium in there. We can let that dry off and then do a rusty effect. There's quite a few different ways to do that, which is quite cool. But I'm gonna just randomly dot some of this brown around just to around his teeth there, to pick out some detail. That's the beauty of having it so thin. It's a good trick for if you're doing any vehicles, and as well if you want something to look greasy, like around the wheels of a tank or something like that. Sorry, all the gears and stuff. Instead of using like a black wash, use the brown wash over it. But make it thin. So you can always add when it's wet, you can add a little bit more of the stronger stuff, and it just, you get it to the where you want it to be. Whereas if you start strong, you still sort it out. You can still put, especially the medium, just go in there with small medium. But as we're using it at the moment, you'd lose a lot of the work we've done. So yeah, there's that. So I mean, they're more or less done now. We're just doing the extras. I mean, usually I'd be using a green wash on the green, and so I want the colours to enhance, but I don't want it. I don't want them to get enhanced at the moment. I want them to get dirty, so I'm using the brown. Yeah, just a bit of it dropped here and there. Got a bit of it in their mouth where the ones have got teeth. Go and pick the teeth back out if you wanted to. I think it's probably enough with the this brown wash will sort of. I think we'll do it. That's on that browny, sorry, grey colour we used. Neckmaster's cloak, I think. And it's gone a bit heavy there, so I'll just put a bit of medium in it. Move it around. That's what we do if it's a little bit strong. Oh no, I don't want it to do that. I don't want it there. Just grab a bit of medium. Push, move it around. Yeah, so that's going to take a little while to dry. I won't lie to you. That's going to take a little while to dry. So it's pretty much. What else can I do on camera? They're waiting for starting to sit really nice on top of that helm now. it is going to take a little time to dry, especially these temps. So as you can see, they're looking quite ganky now, which is good. Let's have a look at the base quick. To use my dry brusher. Got some that brown there. I'll just hit it on there. And very lightly brush over the top to make it look a bit stony. Not really starting to show. So I say it's decision of taste whether you want to do glowy eyes or not. I like doing them. Can't do it at the moment because it has to be completely dry. That's another video I'll have to add to my long list of videos I need to do. But if you want more, I was going to say realistic, but more sort of ones for the Tolkien-y sort of style, I would have probably said no. But if you want your undead to have glowing eyes, give them glowing eyes. It's not hard. I can't show you at the moment because they're still too wet. It's too wet for any rest effects. You see all the dirt, or I've let it just go randomly on there. I think that's about all I can do for this evening. So when it's dry, I'll do some more rust effects. That'll probably be it. I mean, to take them to stage further, rather than strengthen the colours up, we could just edge highlight some of that red, which will give you the same effect. So there's, what I do is I'll put these on the back burner for tomorrow and see if I can get a chance to spend a little time. I'd probably just do the rest effects and maybe do some with the eyes, see how I feel tomorrow. But that's it really. I'll show you these to camera, and I'll do what I usually do: finish them up tomorrow, take photographs of them, put them up on Facebook and Twitter. So if you've not seen my Facebook and Twitter, just search Pirate Rich Paints and you'll find me. So that's the one that is a half guard, but as you can see, it's kind of really like that one. Oh yeah, I need to paint the shields as well. Got the funky shields with the skulls on them. Yeah. Wash is really setting in nice into these lids. Really show all the scarring on them. All the dents and rents and stuff. I love that one where he's taken off the helmet off. That's wicked. So, there we go. These are my Undead Warriors. So you could even go back and put a little bit more purple wash in there. Use purple because it's going to give you a nice thing. Yeah, yeah, I'll do the rust effects in glowing eyes tomorrow, I think, as ordered, Rich. Okay. Apart from that, they're pretty done. I say to take them to the next level, you could do a little bit of edge highlighting on the colours. I wouldn't put tone on the colours. I don't want the colours to look too strong. Alrighty. Well, that's it for tonight. I think 2 hours 20 minutes to nearly finish. It's to do the rest effects and eyeballs probably going to take about what, half hour, if that. So you're talking about 3 hours to do the 10 miniatures. That's not bad, is it? You could do that. Okay then, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me. If you're seeing this and you've not subscribed and liked and hit the notifications bell, if you can do that for me, because it really helps. It's really getting up there now, the channel. Thanks for all people that have subscribed so far, and hopefully you'll have a few more. Good luck, David, when you get your Draugr. I hope this gives you some ideas. I think I've done another video with Draugr as well, if you look back for it. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you guys very, very soon, and have lots of fun for the rest of the weekend. Cheers then, guys. Thanks for joining me.